Okay, guys, so that's our quick update. We had a lot of information that came to us last night. I'm going to quickly touch on the home battery program, and then we're going to get right into AutoSave updates and thermostat updates so we can get questions answered as well as they come in. So first of all, these are the slides that we know about in Texas, right? We know that there is a Texas home battery program. We know that it is coming March 1st of 2026 is our target date for that. March 1st. It's already happening. We know that there's a beta in place, that there are already customers who've been installed on this platform, and we're generating the program, figuring out, okay, what's best practices? How's it going to work? How are we going to do this? What kind of compensation are we going to come up with? What are the requirements? All of that is going to be released later. They're going to start trickling information out about this program in January. And then at our leadership summit is where the big training is going to be happening to get everybody fully up to date on that ahead of the launch. All right. And so we have a great video, an incredible video. I'm not going to show the video now, but it's a great video to share with people because it tells it talks about the program, why it's so impactful. And so that's the best way to share with people right now. And I like to say, keep it simple. Keep it basic. Don't promise people things that you don't know. Don't make things up. Like, don't exaggerate. This program is too good. We don't want to ruin it. Okay. So just stick with the information that we have at hand. And what is that information? We know that EcoFlow is our partner. We know what the batteries look like. We know that, they won the best invention of 2025 and that they're trusted by all these retailers. We know about all the safety things and quality assurance things that they have that nobody else has. You can go to the EcoFlow YouTube channel and watch all the great videos, including the one where they try to destroy the battery in a bazillion different ways. And then they show that battery after they tried to destroy it sitting on someone's home and working. Guys, this is all exciting info. We know that there will be compensation coming up on it. We don't know what it is yet. All right. So and we know these three things. You are going to get a great rate. You're going to save on your electricity versus a customer who does not have a battery attached to their home. You will get a better rate. Okay. Very attractive rate. You will get a free battery backup for your home in case the power goes out. It could last for many, 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 many hours or even many days, depending on how much you use after the power goes out in your neighborhood. So this is designed to be something where you could, hey, if you cut down on your usage, you could go days on end with this thing. With these battery systems cost like $20, $30, $40,000. And we know that there's no cost to install this, that there's zero cost to the customer for the battery or the installation. Okay, so guys, that we know these things. Just stick with that. Everything else that people are asking you, just say, hey, that's coming. We're going to have that program. We don't have all the details on it yet. It's coming. What are the requirements? Who can get it? How fast can they get it? How quickly can it be installed? How much am I going to get paid to get the word out? All those things. That's coming. So keep it simple. Utilize the tools that we have in place and the slides that have been given to us, like we just showed you, to get word out on this program. Okay, so that is just to give you a quick update on the battery program. All right, and where to focus your efforts. Yes, you should be focusing. We've done some trainings. You should be focusing on bringing in new advisors and finding people who have access to homeowners, clients that are homeowners, like rooftop solar companies, like electricians and plumbers, and people who do driveway repair, people who pave driveways, roofers, contractors, insurance agents that have homeowners insurance clients, realtors, what I say, landscapers, people who clean houses. You guys, there's so many different categories of people who interface with homeowners. And we know that the program is only for homeowners. You have to own your own home, right? And maybe we don't know exactly. It could be if you own a townhome and maybe your HOA allows you to have a battery on the outside. Those are things that will come up as we go. But it's for homeowners who live in their location, not homeowners who rent their location. All right. So those are all the things that we know right now. Let me go back. I'm going to stop share on this. And now I want to bring up a few things that we've been talking about because we had a lot of information shared with us last night, from the, from the, I want to call it the explosive information session that we had. So let me go ahead and share my screen here if I can. For some reason, I don't know why I'm not able to. Let me see why that's not working out for me right now. Hang on just a sec, guys. There we go. For some reason, my share button disappeared. So I'm going to go into the slides that we had from last night and go quickly through a couple of the things that I know people have been asking questions about, and just to give some further updates on that. So this is not going to be our full, train. I'm not going to go through the agenda. You guys can go through. There's a recording of this that will come out, so you'll be able to do this. I just want to get through some of the highlights of things that we found out about as we were going through last night. All right. And so in 2026, we're definitely going to have the EA of the month, and that's going to be an exciting thing. And so you're going to be able to start, recommending people to that. It's going to be really cool. And Women of Think, we know there's going to be a vision board workshop coming in January. Awesome. Love it. We know we have new marketing tools that are heading into the BAM app. They're actually going to be updated so that you can actually track all of these videos as they're coming out. So everything is being put into the custom pages section so that you can track all of this, including the home battery program, to start getting the word out. We also found out that we have some major things happening with community solar, with New Jersey getting a higher discount in ACE LMI up to 27% now instead of 20%. Awesome. We know that BGE, that immediate allocations with 10% discount in UCB for the next few months. Bottom line is what we heard last night, just to give you a quick update. If you're in the Maryland market, especially in the BGE market, I mean, you should be signing up customers right now, because we know this is going to be switching over. Like, you should be telling the customer, hey, sign up now, lock in this discount that you have right now. And when they switch over to utility consolidated billing, sure, you're going to have to put your credit card or your auto pay in, or your bank account in. But by the time you actually start receiving credits, the market's already going to have switched over to utility consolidated billing. So maybe it'll hit you 1 month, but it's going to disappear, and you're not going to be on dual billing. It's just going to go right onto your bill. So now is the time. Like, sign up these customers now. Okay, so that they can lock in that discount where it is now. Because, hey, listen, I can tell you, usually when utilities switch over to utility consolidated billing, when a market or a state switches from dual billing that has a specific discount to utility consolidated billing, which has a specific discount, it usually goes down over time. Historically, that's what has happened in the community solar space. And so lock people in right now, because whatever you lock them in on, that's locked for up to 20 years. And so let's just say, we don't know, but I'm just going to say, let's say that, right now the discount is 10%. And let's say it goes and does what the state of New York did with utility consolidated billing, where it went from 10% for dual billing, and then it went down to 5%. Well, historically, what happened in that state was everybody who signed up at 10% for dual billing, when it switched over to utility consolidated billing and it was 5% for all the new customers, the old customers that were locked in at 10% for 20 years, didn't matter how they were billed. They still got the 10%. So all of those customers got switched over to utility consolidated billing, and they still had the 10%. So you guys, that's a way to promote this to people. Like, lock it in now. Get those customers signed up right now in Maryland, because UCB is coming, and it's not the time. Don't wait until it becomes something at that point when UCB goes into effect. Get them signed up right now. All right. And here's the thing. As a company, if we do that, then the developers, once it goes utility consolidated billing, they're just going to give us more and more capacity because of how effective we were right now when it's dual billing. So let's get the word out about that. It's hard for somebody to explain that in a flyer, but you as an advisor, educating your customer, we can do what a flyer cannot do. We can do what a website cannot do. We can do what a video can't do, which is encourage those customers to take advantage. In Nexamp, there's their mission. We knew all about that. That's great. Capacity is live right now. 20% savings through Nexamp. with low and moderate income customers in national grid territory in New York. I know there's been questions about this. New York is a state that switched over. They made whenever let's put it this way, whenever a state becomes UCB, utility consolidated billing capable, it doesn't mean it's like mandatory that every single developer has to be, has to be utility consolidated billing. I mean, New Jersey's making it pretty apparent that that's what they want to make. They want to make it mandatory, but all the other states, it hasn't been mandatory. And there will always be older projects and some newer projects where the developer decides to stay on dual billing because they can give a higher discount and they have a great platform to do it. So what I will say is that in New York, like with National Grid, people have been asking questions. Well, how come there's two offers in New York? I see there's a 5% savings offer in New York with utility consolidated billing, and I see there's a LMI 20% savings with dual billing. Great. That's because both coexist. Okay. You can sign up for whatever's available. Somebody said, well, is the entire state of New York now dual billing? No, it's not dual billing. It's just Nexamp has dual billing and they have a higher discount for doing it. But like in the NYSEG territory in New York, we don't have any Nexamp capacity there. So we have the 5% utility consolidated billing savings there. So you're going to see those two, dual billing and UCB is sometimes going to be a mix in each market or in each state. In Maine, it's all dual billing there, and look at what happened, right? Because it's dual billing and Nexamp has this, it's our first time we've ever been able to say, we can lock you in for 30% savings for 2 years. Open and LMI. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's crazy. $100 gift card through 12/31, extra incentives. So 15 days, we just got the word. It's like, go, the starting gun just went off. You have 15 days to help them get a $100 gift card from Nexamp. And then 12 and 24-month loyalty credits. I don't even know what those are, but they're just, all I know is they'll give you a credit on your bill for staying 12 months and 24 months for paying your electric bill. But, and somebody said, well, does that mean it's only 30% savings for 2 years and then it stops? No, it's the for those first 2 years. And then after that, you can be on the farm up to 20 years. So very, very exciting what we have, happening in community solar. We found out that, hey, we're going to have to wait a little bit for O&R in New York, and we're going to have to wait a little bit for the small commercial where you can sign up multiple meters quickly in Illinois. So that's coming. All right. They're still working on that. We're going to get news on that very soon. So lots of things happening, right? Central Maine Power is updating to ACH only with live projects available. So we found that out. And then they went through the community solar map. I'm not going to go through those as well. And I'm not going to go through all the details of community solar capacities because we already have those posted and it's recorded. This will be in the video as well, but we've posted it on our channels so that you can see what those details are as far as where are we live, what's going on. Guys, so community solar is in full swing, plain and simple, and it's just going to get better and better as we go. The next chapter, AutoSave. So we've had AutoSave for a little while, and we've been talking about smart thermostats, and now the combination of these two things coming together, and we're getting a lot of new information, and Think is really helping to direct our efforts to what is the most profitable for you as an advisor and the best way for the company to get to maximize the discounts for customers with AutoSave. So we're getting new information, updated information as we go. And that's what you're starting to see. So the official launch date has been changed. So this is an update, is January 5th in the PJM markets. Okay, January 5th is the official launch date for the AutoSave combined with Smart Thermostat program. Somebody asked me, can I just get a smart thermostat and not be an AutoSave customer? Sure, you can. Anybody can get a smart thermostat anywhere. In fact, a lot of the utility companies are giving them out for free at this time of the year. The state of Pennsylvania is going crazy with free thermostats from the utility company. So can you get a smart thermostat? Sure. Can you connect it? Sure. Do you have to have an AutoSave platform to be able to use a smart thermostat in your home? No. Okay, but if you want to take advantage of AutoSave with the smart thermostat and get a guaranteed 5% discount on your electric bill, you have to have an AutoSave account and connect your smart thermostat to your AutoSave account. All right, so that's how it works. These are the PJM markets. If you're not familiar with PJM, it's all Pennsylvania, Illinois, New Jersey, Ohio, Washington, D.C., and Delaware. Those are our markets for PJM. Interestingly enough, these are the same states and markets that are on hand to go after the battery program after we do Texas at some point. We don't have any dates on it, but it's definitely something that's going to be happening. So definitely happening there. AutoSave. What's changing? I like to say it's not changing. We're just adjusting our terminology to be more effective is what we're doing. And now talking about the smart thermostat, instead of talking about it as just an add-on, let's talk about it as the word unlock. Much better word, has a much stronger connotation and a much more higher value proposition. When somebody says you can unlock something, it's like, okay, great, treasure, something I couldn't get without before it was locked. Now it's not. So let's utilize that term. Don't add Think Smart. Don't add the smart thermostat program to AutoSave. Unlock the savings with a compatible thermostat where you deliver guaranteed savings of at least 5% every month. Now, it has to be a compatible thermostat. So you can't just have any smart thermostat. It has to be compatible with our platform. A lot of these, thermostats are compatible with our platform. And right now it's Ecobee, it's Honeywell, and it's Residio. And there's a list of all of the thermostats in the Texas, right now it's in the Texas market because that's where it's open right now. But if you go into your Think Success widget in your back office and you hit the magnifying glass, right, and you search for thermostat, you can just look Think Smart FAQ, and you'll see in the FAQ it has all of the thermostats listed. We've posted them in our channels as well. It has all of the 3 brands and then the models. So they're there. Now, there will be additional models coming out, additional brands like Google Nest, like Amazon. All of those things are going to happen. It's just going to be more and more. It's going to get more abundant as we go. All right. So hey, and if you're not ready to connect a smart thermostat yet, and honestly, I'm in Connecticut right now. My wife and I, we're like, after hearing last night, we're like, we better go get a smart thermostat, one of the ones that's on the list right now, and just get one so that if we ever do get AutoSave, like we're not an AutoSave state, we're not a thermostat state. Unfortunately, we're not. For people who are in those states, great. You have something that most states don't have. So, but we're preparing. I'm going to get a smart thermostat that's on that list right now and put it in my house in Connecticut because I'm going to be ready when it happens. And I'm going to call around to find out at the utilities who can get me one at a discount or maybe for nothing. So everybody should be doing that. Having a smart thermostat will let you just cut down on your overall costs even before AutoSave comes out. So the customer value proposition with a connected, compatible smart thermostat. So the customer is served by Think Energy. Great. They have to be on AutoSave. They will get a guaranteed minimum 5% savings versus the utility price to compare when they are served, when they're connected with a compatible smart thermostat, no enrollment fees and no cancellation fees. Great value proposition. So who is best? Now this slide is the first time last night that we were seeing a direction given to us as far as who will be best for AutoSave. This has never been done before until last night. And so now we're finding out new information, updated information to allow us to go after customers that are going to give us the most residuals, that are going to give us long term. They're going to stay on the platform, all those things. And one of them is that, hey, number one is that homeowners with a compatible thermostat. That's a great category. They are ideal. They're like the number one category. Does that mean that only homeowners can sign up for AutoSave and connect a smart thermostat? No, that does not mean that. It means that they're ideal. And we should definitely, as a collective group of advisors, we should be going after homeowners with a vengeance, man. Like we should just be, if somebody owns a home, you got to get on this platform. You have a home, let's get you a smart thermostat and let's get you on this platform because homeowners like single family homes, okay, or people who rent a single family home. They're not the homeowner, but they rent it. That's a home, right? That would be the same category. Okay, so living in a home that's a single family home, it has ideal characteristics for Think Energy to serve that customer over a long period of time and give them higher than the five, where it says 5% or more, minimum 5% savings. This is where homeowners skew that number. See, when you think about it, before we had the smart thermostat program, we had just the AutoSave program for several months. We already have customers on the platform with AutoSave. There was no minimum guarantee of savings. It was just like, we guarantee that we'll save you when Think Energy is your supplier. I mean, hey, even if we saved you a penny, we're saving you money. If we're saving you a 0.5% or 1% or 2%, that all fits with our guarantee of savings associated with AutoSave. Okay. Well, with no minimum guarantee of savings, we averaged 5% savings and the high went up to 20%. So if we as a collective group of advisors, if we're definitely focused on let's go get some homeowners or people who rent a single family home who live there, let's go get them on the platform because what that'll do, it's the homeowners in that situation that get the higher savings. It's why we were able to say, hey, we saved up to 20% for some people, for a whole group of people, a lot of people, even though the guarantee was just, there was no minimum guarantee. We went up to 20%. It was because of the single family homeowners and the single family renters at single family homes. That's why. Now, that's not to say that other customers are not going to benefit from it. Yeah, you want to sign up as many customers on the platform as you can, but they're directing us because people who are on the platform that are going to be served by Think Energy for the long term and get these discounts, they're going to unlock, higher residuals for you. Like if you bring a customer on, let's say you bring a customer on who has low usage and they live in an apartment. Can you sign them up on AutoSave? Of course. You can sign them up on AutoSave. Think Home Solutions will take a look at it, see how they qualify, what they can do. They'll come up with a personalized rate for that customer. Great. But if they have a low usage and they're just not going to be able to unlock a lot of value for that customer, maybe they don't find a customized rate that's below the utility for that customer and they leave them with the utility. Well, you're going to get paid, I think the terms say we get paid for whatever it is, 12 months or something like that. But after that period of time, if we're not able to ever get that customer a personalized rate that is lower than the utility, then you're going to get whatever the terms say in the FAQ for compensation. So whether it's 12 months at half the residual or whether it's 12 months at the full residual, whatever it is, I can't remember off the top of my head, but whatever it is, it ends at a certain period of time. You're not going to get paid forever on a customer that is not being served by Think Energy. So that's why, again, they're directing us to make sure that we're doing things that are highly profitable for us first before anything else. All right. And then you're looking for customers who want predictable savings. Well, that's ideal for people in that category. How about people who are tired of shopping for energy plans? That's great. Another category that's ideal, customers who want automation and simplicity. These are all categories that are ideal. Does somebody ask this question? Am I only signing up AutoSave customers who are all four of these things? No, definitely not. Okay. You don't have to be all four of these things. You don't even have to be one of these things. It's just that these are the ideal categories to help you understand and build a strong and profitable business long term. This is what it's ideal for. Again, we're not turning people away. It's not your job to go and figure out, let me look at your bill and see if you're good for AutoSave or not. No, that's not what our job is. Our job is to sign up the customers, but focus on the ones where you have the greatest bang for your buck. That makes sense in any business. All right. And as we get more information, we'll go from there. There's the compatible smart thermostat. You know, if the thermostat that they have isn't compatible, they'll just remain on AutoSave standard, which is AutoSave without the thermostat connected. And they can either wait until their thermostat becomes available on our platform, or they can go get another one. I mean, we have people that are taking a look at that list right now and they're like, man, I'm not on that list. And they call up their utility company and they go get another thermostat that's on the list because the utility company is giving them one at no cost. Or so there was one utility that was giving them away for $1. Pay $1, we'll ship you a thermostat. And some people figure out, hey, I can install this myself if that's what I want to do. Great, go ahead and do it. If you have the know-how to do it, or hire somebody to do it. Get an electrician to come in and put it in. A lot of these things don't require a lot of expertise to do it. So that's up to you. We're not giving people advice on how to do it, but there are definitely people who self-install smart thermostats because they know how to do it. All right, or they can follow instructions on how to do it. So why it matters. This is also great. I love this slide. Why the smart thermostat matters. Imagine this is what you can say to people. A connected, compatible smart thermostat allows, this is the first time they've put this in bullet points for us as well. It's been in videos, it's in our Think Smart video for Texas. We didn't know how it would exactly apply in the markets like PJM that are coming, but these are great things to be able to say to people. Look, it'll allow you to play, it allows Think Energy to do these automated AI-driven things like plan ahead for weather events. Guys, what does that have to do with a smart thermostat? Well, if think about it this way. If you know that it's going to be extremely hot coming up starting at 6 a.m. or it's at 12 p.m. today, it's going to be extremely hot coming up. Wouldn't it make sense to have your AI-driven thermostat know the weather patterns, know what's happening and going to happen, and pre-cool your home when it doesn't cost a lot to do? Of course, makes sense. So there's all these things where it can optimize. It can optimize usage at the right time. It can reduce peak cost exposure when energy prices are the most expensive, which is during peak demand time when everybody's home, 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock, whatever it is, when energy is being used and consumed the most. And then it can enable guaranteed savings for customers. So now we have 4 bullet points that we can share to our customers. This separates us from, well, my friend is in the energy sector and can give me a fixed rate of this for 6 months. And, I don't know what's going to happen after that, but looks good for 6 months. Well, how about forget 6 months? Okay. Instead of getting a guaranteed rate for 6 months, how about we give you a guaranteed program? How about we give you a guarantee of savings permanently? That's what we're talking about doing here. And so I love this slide. This was the slide of the night. And a lot of people didn't realize how powerful this is. So enrollment timing. What to know? Beta connections are live right now. So we already have, just like we have with the home battery program, we already have customers that are connected. They're AutoSave customers, and they've already connected their smart thermostat. And you know what? They did it themselves. They got instructions on how to do it, and they did it. And that's what's going to happen. Our job is not to be in the thermostat connection business, okay? I'm not in this business to go around and meet people at their home and go in and take the thermostat out of their box and connect it. First of all, I don't want to do it. And second of all, I don't even know if I'm qualified to do it. But we're not in the thermostat connection business. We're not troubleshooters. Okay, that's not our job. Our job is to lead them to the platform, and then the customer takes action. Now, the customer can take action. They can self-install themselves using guides. There's going to be videos. There's going to be instructions for each one of the thermostats. That's going to come from the thermostat manufacturer, not from Think Energy. Think Energy will give the customer, after they have the thermostat installed, they will give them instructions on how to connect it using codes that come from the thermostat or passwords that come from the thermostat company or a Wi-Fi code. There will be each thermostat will have its own way to do that, and there'll be FAQs for a customer. There'll be like instructions for customers on how to do that. Just like we've had in Texas for a year and a half since we launched the smart thermostat program in Texas. Okay, our Texas EAs aren't running around becoming, geek squad for thermostats. No, they're leading the customer to the information. All right. And it's up to the customer to do that. So January 5th unlocks the full market availability to start doing this. And we'll get all kinds of details coming up at that point and then shortly after. So momentum starts now. This is when we start talking about it. This is when we start updating people on it. Okay. And there's some updates there too. What happens if I pay more than the utility? Sure. In rare cases, such as delayed, like if you're on AutoSave, whether you have a smart thermostat or not, you have this overarching guarantee that says guaranteed to never be more than the utility and guaranteed to be lower than the utility when Think Energy is your supplier. Is there a possibility that the customer could actually could pay more in a certain month, let's call it, versus the utility? Sure, that can happen. What if the first one is, well, what if the utility company messes up and they put the wrong rate on the bill? Like we tell them to put this on it because it's lower than the utility, and then the utility company, somebody puts an error in well, they added another penny, they added 10 cents to it, all of a sudden it came out more. Well, in the instance of the utility making a mistake, which will happen, okay. I don't know how many times. I don't know. I could probably ask 100 people. Hey, has your utility company ever charged you the wrong amount? 99 hands would go up. Sure. So we have an overarching policy that says if the customer is charged more than the utility's price to compare, and they're an active Think AutoSave customer, Think Home Solutions will issue a bill credit for the difference. And it says in the FAQs that could be a bill credit, could be a gift card, could be a check, depending on the utility and what's allowed in their state. Okay, but the bottom line is they're going to get a credit even if the utility messes up and overcharges them by accident. Think is going to send the bill credit back to them. They don't have to go to the utility company and do it. That's what's going to happen because that's how our program works, right? So then there's other things that could happen. We send over the change request, like Think Energy sends the change request over and says, okay, put this rate on the bill because we compared the personalized price that we gave them this month. It's different than last month, but it's still below the utility. We need a new rate in there. We go and put it in there, and they don't put it in time. That could happen. There's also retroactive utility rate updates. Like we send over something to the utility and we say, what's your rate this month? Well, this month, right today, it's 10 cents. Great. Our rate is 9 cents. So we send over a 9-cent request to the utility because we checked with them and they said, yes, today our rate is 9 cents. Great. And that's what it's supposed to be for the month. We send it over, and then all of a sudden, 10 days later, the utility company comes up with a program and says, well, we're going to do a special rate adjustment for our, customers for a month because it was really cold or it was really hot. There's something that happened retroactively, right? And so we don't know that. We already put the request in. And so in that case, then Think Energy would then look and say, okay, where was the customer and how does it work? And there's an overarching policy to make sure that that we're able to credit back customers when these things happen. Okay. So it's never going to be perfectly foolproof because utility companies can make mistakes. Utility companies can have delays, but our overarching policy makes sure that the customer gets settled up with in great fashion. It's going to basically be a month or two, 1 to 2 billing credits, but it could be as many as 120 days depending on how slow the utility is in that state. So just to give you an idea, it can happen. But we have an overarching policy that covers it when it does happen. That's what I love. More tools and training coming up. There's going to be an updated AutoSave sales guide. Love it. Little manual. Here's how it works. There's going to be a customer-facing flyer for the AutoSave plus the Smart Thermostat program. We don't have it yet because we didn't launch the program yet. There will be new AutoSave videos in BAM. There will be updated training decks along the way. So this is all going to happen. And we also found out that, in 2026, you might want to be getting to Regional Energy Advisor. because in some of these places, Charlotte talked about it and hinted at it last night. If we're going to be launching battery programs at certain times of the year, or you want to be first to do certain things, we're going to do it by rank. And it's probably going to start out initially, you'd say, well, if we want to get a lot of people who are up to date on programs and have promoted through the compensation plan and they're with it and they're on it and they're doing it, let's start with regional energy advisors and go there. So we'll probably see some things happen there as well. Guys, there's a lot of information here. I know there is a lot of information here. What I'm going to do is stop share here, and I just want to share a couple quick things about, I'm going to share a couple other things about the AutoSave platform in general. One of them is the AutoSave FAQ. So this is the AutoSave FAQ. Let me see if I can make that bigger. I'm not going to go through it. I'm not even going to go through it at all. But I'm just going to show you. I just copied this from the AutoSave platform within Think Success. So this is the AutoSave FAQ. It is in Think Success. When you go into your web office, you can go into Think Success widget, hit the magnifying glass to search, and type in AutoSave FAQ. When you do, it'll pop up with this. And it goes through every single question that can come up. Look at how many questions and answers there are. Question, answer, question, answer. You guys want to go read this? It actually talks about, hey, what happens if a customer unintentionally gets overcharged by the utility? Do we protect them? Yeah, we do. It has all of that in there. It talks about how you can look up what your customer statuses are in your back office. Guys, everything is there. The AutoSave FAQ. Use it for sure. Definitely use it. There's some other things I want to share with you as well, which are powerful for the AutoSave platform. And let me see, do I have this set up here? Thought I did. I think I do. Yeah, I think I do right here. So sign up. When you are typing in a customer's zip code to see what is available for that customer, and here I did one, I think I did PPL territory in Pennsylvania. Yes, I did. I have family in Pennsylvania, so I typed in their zip code. And it pops up with AutoSave, and there's the utility company. Great. Here's how the program works, right? Here's all the details on it as you read down. It pops up and it looks like this to start. But what you want to do is click on View Details. When you click on View Details, and your customers can do this too, you will then be able to see all the details about bullet points about how the program works. And then two of these documents here, which are of interest, I would say, to customers and advisors. Okay, one of them is a lot of legalese and stuff like that, but it's there, and it's the first one. It's the terms of service. When you click on the terms of service, great, you've got the terms of service right here. It pops up, it loads into the screen, and it shows you exactly here's the platform. I don't know how many pages it is. It's a lot of pages. Let's see. It's 19 pages. But it does have a lot of bullet points in there about what you can do and all the things. And there's some things in yellow that customers might want to read. That's fine. It's all there for customers who want to know. The bigger one, I would say, and even more useful, is this one, and it's at the bottom, because the arbitration and the communication policy and the privacy policy, those things are all just things that nobody can read. Nobody understands those. It's all legal things that one lawyer talks to a regulator and says, let's do this, and let's have a requirement that we have to have all kinds of documentation so that we as lawyers can make a lot more money. Whatever it is. But the bottom line one is summary document. So terms of service and summary document. Guys, this one is awesome, right? Because you can go in here. It's a one-pager cheat sheet, right? This is the shortcut. It has question and answer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? There's 6, there's 7, 8, 9, 10. Guys, there are 10. This is like the top 10 questions that a customer would ask and the answers to them right next to it. Utilize the tools, everyone. That's what we're doing, right? Utilize the tools that we have. Let me make sure I am back where I need to be on Zoom. Do I have everything? Am I back into the meeting? Oh, gosh. Sorry, guys. I lost my, there we go. Stop share. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of information. There will be last thing I'm going to share too is just, and you can screenshot these. I'm sure you may have had a chance to do it last night, but I'm going to put it up here anyway. And that is the events that are coming up. So let me go ahead and do that again right now. We're sharing the screen, but I don't want to share that one. I want to, how do I get out of that one? Sorry, guys. That's not the one I wanted to share. Sorry, that's the AutoSave FAQ. I just want to bring up, where did it go? Summary page. There we go. There we go. Just want to bring up the slides again here where Kelly talked about upcoming events that we have coming on. I don't need to go through those because we already have that, but December 25th, December 25 and January 26th, we have an event schedule. So make sure you have this. We posted this in our channels as well. So take a screenshot here and get this, and we'll get these slides, readily available for everybody. Again, this is going to be recorded and posted. The slides will be updated as well, and they'll have a link to these for everybody when they release the updated document or the updated notification that comes out via email. So you have access to the slides and you'll have access to the video. So that's a good thing to know. And then also additional events going on as well, where in 2026, January 5th, kickoff, January 6th, Tuesday, we're going to be back here with the call to action doing an AutoSave and thermostat training. We'll be doing that to give you updates on everything that we know and everything that we can share about the program. And then the state of the company call on January 19th, the director and partner call right before that on January 19th, and then January 26th, the virtual vision boards happening on monthly Women of Think. Whew! That's a lot of information. And I am going to stop share right now. And let's see if we have any questions that have come up. I see, Mike, you have your hand raised. So go ahead, Mike. I think you can go right ahead.
Hey, so it's funny because the last few minutes of your presentation is literally, I posted that on Bella's chat today, exactly that, sending people to go get that summary. It does answer a lot of questions. I always train all my advisors below me that before you sign up anyone to anything, that really you should be at a bare minimum reading that summary page. What any product is, why not? As
Yeah.
far as the contract stuff, I'm crazy enough that I read that also. So actually, I have a question for you on the long gibberish one, because it actually tells customers there that if you believe you receive the rate that is higher than your utility, you agree that you shall contact immediately. It basically asks the customers to contact them. So my question for you is, does it happen automatically on its own, or do the customers have to contact directly? Because according to the long gibberish 19 pages, it actually tells the customers to contact the company. And then the
It
other
says
thing I want.
both. Yeah, it says both. It has both in there. So if the customer feels like they were overcharged, they definitely at that point we definitely want the customer to let the Think Energy, Think Home Solutions, definitely Think Energy, let them know exactly what's going on, and we'll get specific details on that. I asked that question as well. I'm awaiting the before I answer it, which I suspect I can, but I'm not going to because I don't want to be wrong. We'll get the answer to whether that happens automatically or not. I
Okay.
suspect I know the answer to it, but based on what's in the writing there. But yeah, there's always the opportunity for the customer to intervene. But if the customer doesn't intervene or doesn't notice, we have a guarantee in place that overarches anything that happens when a customer is overcharged, where it's not their fault, not our fault, it's the utility's fault or whatever. So yeah, we'll
Yeah,
get an answer on that.
two more things. One is at the bottom of the summary sheet. I have not seen this trained in any training at all, and I think that this is actually very important because this has been coming up already because people have been putting these bills in, but I've not seen in a single training from anybody that commercial bills that are demand meters should not be signed up. And if you look at that little summary, the bottom paragraph, I haven't done it, but others told me that they have and they ran into issues, and it's right there on the summary. So I think that it's important that when we talk about the 100,000 kilowatts, that we should be training unless there's demand charges. Now I know that might complicate things and people have to know how to teach their downline what a demand charge is, but if it doesn't work with demand charges, which I can tell you it definitely doesn't work, and it's in the summary, then we should be training people that if it's 100,000 kilowatts demand, it doesn't matter what the kilowatts are. If it's demand, you can't sign them up. And then the other thing is as far as the FAQ. So that little update that you just did, that is updated on the FAQ, but that's not updated on thinkenergy.com/autosave. So I think that it's imperative that whoever does the updates on one end, that they always, make sure that it's going on both sides. Because on Think Success, that helps the customer, that helps the advisor, but the customer facing site is the other one, and there it was not updated to show that, that little snippet. And in addition, that same thing is where we have it on the summary sheet where we have that 100,000, sorry, not 100, we have the peak limitation for, let me rephrase that, the demand limitation for commercial bills. It's not listed on the customer facing site. So if a customer just went to their FAQ type of situation, and even on our regular FAQ, I don't think it mentions anything about that commercial limitation.
Yeah, it's definitely a good point, and I know they're going to update and keep those things unified as we're going. I think the timing has to be a little closer because it's been a couple days, as you've noted here. So we'll work on that as well. But yeah, I mean, so it's generally what we're saying is, first of all, we're not signing up large commercial customers. This is small commercial and residential customers. And if a small commercial customer has a demand charge or things that are listed in there, yeah, they're not a great fit for it. So
The
is it
vast majority in JCPL, even the small commercials, they are demand, the vast majority of them. And it in the field that we're seeing it, it's an issue. It doesn't work. So that it just needs to be noted.
We'll get that information out as we get closer to it, I'm sure, because we don't want to have the customer, I mean, Think Energy has the Think Home Solutions and Think Energy. Once they go and connect and they actually bring a customer on, they have the ability to go in and say, hey, listen, we're not going to be able to service you. And they just would say, no, it doesn't qualify. So we'll probably see that's what's going to happen over the long term. But for now, yeah, we'll get the word out more about that. If there are things that are demand charges on a bill, it's just like the same thing with community solar. I mean, anything that we do, even regular retail electricity supply, like where I am in Connecticut, it's like we're not bringing on customers that have demand charges on their account. We just don't do it.
One difference
And
is that
same
with
thing in
community solar,
Texas.
sorry, with community solar, they were auto rejected, but I can tell you that with the demand, they have not been auto rejected. So obviously,
Yeah.
I'm assuming Think Energy is going to adapt, and I've been working behind the scenes on this for the past week with multiple different advisors in different locations. So I'm sure that Think Energy is going to adapt. I'm just pointing out with community solar that was already in place where they automatically got rejected. As far as the demand, people weren't even aware that this was an issue, and it didn't. So I'm assuming that they'll take care of it moving forward. All right,
Yeah,
thank you for your time.
that's how it'll be, and yep, absolutely. And like in Texas and in Connecticut, in the states where it's fixed retail electricity supply, we've been dealing with the same exact thing as we're dealing with now. It's not an auto reject, and but the customer comes in and then they can adjust later, and we'll see where that goes. But definitely, you want to be looking at it and saying, okay, we're going after the core of what we're going after is homeowners, people who live in a single family home, people who rent a single family home. That's the bread and butter, let's call it. And everything else, outside of that, and commercial, again, if you see charges on there, like you look on a bill and it says demand on it, you definitely want to check with Think Energy before getting that customer signed up. And I agree, Mike. We'll have some safeguards in there because it's definitely something that we need to do so that even if a customer goes directly to the website without an advisor or forgets to, I just saw this. It was a long time ago that my advisor asked me to take a look, and now I'm going to the site. We should have something in there. Agreed. So we'll bring that up as well. So appreciate that. Let's see, Raymond, go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Great training. My question is for the thermostats. If somebody already has autosave and they put in a thermostat, will there be like a ticker or an alert for the customer knows that that is autosave and thermostat is connected? The question is, how would the agents or the customer know it's connected and like when? Like is it like a tinger or a thing, for that 5%? I guess that's my question.
And it's a great question. And that is what we're going to find out as we get closer to the January 5th and January 6th training, January 5th launch and January 6th training. And we'll get information about that. So the answer is not known. That's not known yet. But obviously, that's something that, I mean, when a customer, let's put it this way. There's an enrollment process that a customer goes through in the state of Texas to get their thermostat connected, and the customer has a notification that they've finished enrolling and that they're connected. So there will be something. We just don't know what that is going to be yet, whether that's going to be a text, whether it's going to be an email, whether it'll be right on a portal where they're signing up online to do it. So we'll find that out as we go. So definitely that's where we go. Yep. So appreciate that. We will
Got it.
find that out as we go.
Cool. Thank you. The other quick question is, at our home, we already have a Honeywell system, but I see on the website there's specific Honeywell models. I don't know if it's answerable or not, but if you already have a model, is there a way we could submit to Think Energy? Because I have like a Pro series, but it doesn't, it says Pro Trade, Pro Retail, Prestige, Sonic, etc. I have a Pro series exactly. So can I like take a picture or submit to customer service so when our house does sign up for AutoSave after our contract is up with the electricity rate? That's what I was wondering.
I would say let's wait on that as well
Okay.
until we get the training on that because there may be a mechanism to do that. Or they may say, hey, listen, these are the only ones we can do right now, and we'll update you as we go. So that'll be something that we'll learn during the upcoming training. That's unknown at this point. So appreciate that, Raymond.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
All right, you got it. Absolutely. And I see Sherry, you have your hand raised. Go right ahead, Sherry.
Hi, thank you so much, especially for the list of where to find the list of the models for
Mhm.
autosave. That was helpful.
Okay, great.
I
Appreciate it.
do have a question that I'm not sure you can answer, but I'm going to put it anyway.
Mhm.
Community solar in Maryland.
Yep.
I have customers that were signed up for community solar, LMI in the PEPCO, and regular and LMI in BGE. All of them in my back office say pending. They have been signed up for a minimum of 6 months now. So it's confusing to me that we're opening up more, but these people are still pending. So do you know where I can find, like, I don't know if I haven't seen all the bills. One bill showed a charge to the to AGI. I haven't seen all the bills yet to see if they're on, but the back office isn't updating to see what the actual see if I can just figure out what the issue is, whether it's an updating thing or something. Any advice for how to proceed with this?
Yeah, so what I would say is that you don't need to go look at it. If it doesn't have them showing as active and receiving credits in your back office, they're not. So as soon as they are, that does get updated very quickly. So, I mean, you're talking about days within, not months or anything like that. So I wouldn't be running around trying to figure out are all these customers getting credits or not, because I would just say, okay, if it says they're still pending and waiting for credits, then that's what the status that they're in.
But
And
I
and that's
know for a fact, one person showed me their bill.
Mhm,
It still says pending in the back office, but
mhm.
the bill shows that they're on the farm and they got a letter said they're active.
Great. That should update very shortly, after that. But
It's
like I said, I wouldn't be going around to all of your other customers and trying to
okay.
figure out that right now. That's not what I would do.
Okay.
I would, if you want to get some clarification on that, I would definitely send that particular customer the information in to EA support and say, hey, I've
Okay.
got this customer. I saw they have credits and it's not showing up in my back office. Could you let me know what's going on with it? That would be a definite, that's where you would bring in EA support for that for sure. But as far as credits go, we're not, it's not that we're always opening up more capacity in every single market. So you could sign up, a customer could sign up for community solar and, we expect them to go on to a community solar farm, within the next 4 to 6 months, let's say. And then they're earmarked for that solar farm. And then all of a sudden, that developer, the utility regulators come in, they do an inspection, and the projected opening date is no longer 4 to 6 months. Instead, it's 9 to 12 months. So that means your customer is going to be waiting that long. You could then have another customer that comes in and signs up, after that customer did gets assigned to a different farm or gets earmarked for a different farm, and that farm goes into effect faster. So what happens in community solar is between the utility and the community solar developer and Think Energy, those three entities do the best that they possibly can to figure out which one is the next most likely farm to become live, and then let's get that customer over that farm. But there's all types of variables that happen as far as when farms open. So we don't have any control over that. So that's what you're going to see, just across the board and anywhere in community solar. It's just the nature of the beast, so to speak. But what I'll say is that we continue to open up new partnerships with new developers, regardless of what the status is of previous customers, because we want to have abundance. We want to have as many open farms as we possibly can. And with utility consolidated billing coming in, that's opening up a new avenue for everyone as well. So you want that to happen. It's just, I know that the timelines can be frustrating from a reporting perspective and from from a knowledge perspective on your end of when customers get onto a farm, but really you can't speed that up. You're not really going to be able to do anything to speed that up. It's all done in the background, and it's between those three bodies: the utilities, the developer, and Think Energy. So if anything, derails that timeline, it's going to definitely delay the customer. That's just the nature of community solar. All right, so I appreciate that.
Thanks for your answer.
Yeah, not much you can do about it except just, hey, sit tight. You're going to get on the farm as fast as we can possibly get you on there. We're not delaying anybody intentionally. It's just happening because that's the way community solar works.
I was just wondering if maybe the back office isn't updating for some reason.
Well, you can definitely say that. And, you could say, hey, listen, I have, 6 customers on here. One of them's already receiving credits, but it says it's pending. Can you also check these other 5 customers and let me know? Does it need to be updated? And they can definitely tell you that. So that's what EA Support is there for.
Okay. Thanks so much, Tony.
Absolutely, Sherry. Appreciate it. Okay. Good stuff. I have Etan. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Etan.
Etan. Okay, great.
Yeah, thank you. Just a quick question, I guess, about the refund, to a customer that is overcharged with AutoSave. I just remember, you might remember, I'm sure you remember this, that before AutoSave, I think, was released, maybe just as it was, being released in the markets. There was they were saying that the customer would be refunded the difference plus 10%. I don't know if you remember that that guarantee that was made then. I remember it vividly. I just don't know where, I think I saw it in like a Zoom or something, some video. I remember seeing it. Even I think it could be even the AutoSave video, one of the original AutoSave videos, and they were saying, you'll get refunded the difference plus 10%. But I'm not seeing that being said. So I'm just wondering if that's changed.
I'm not really up to speed on that. I don't recall that specific language. I can tell you this: when we launched AutoSave, the terms and conditions, if they had that in there, and I'm just not sure that was there, I'd have to look at it. But if it was there for a customer that had, when they signed up, there were terms and conditions. So if an initial customer signed up, day 2, since when we launched AutoSave, and those provisions were in the agreement, then those provisions would apply to that customer. Now, the company can change policies and change the terms and conditions at any time. Obviously, they have to be able to do that. But if that happened, then the customers and they changed that policy, then they would have changed it in the terms and conditions as well at the time that customer signed up. So whatever terms and conditions that customer agreed to that was on the website when they hit submit, at that time, that applies. They wouldn't be able to go back in time and say, well, we are not offering this anymore, and let's take it away from all the customers that we offered it to. That's not going to happen. That would be like you'd lose your license for doing something like that. So that's a possibility that it could be there. There may have been some intentions to do that. I'm not sure, but I'd have to look into it just to find out. I don't recall offhand off the top of my head. But I would say that, it's not there now, and it's not for any customers going forward. And the customers that are signing up now, they're not looking for that. And it's not in a flyer, and it's not in the terms and conditions, and it's not on the website. So everything is, everything's locked down in that regard from the terms and conditions standpoint. So I just noted that just to find out. I have to look at that because there's been so many different things that we had as far as policies, with different services that we've offered. So I'll find that out as we go. I appreciate that question. Okay, Stephen, go right ahead. Looking for Stephen. I think I hit ask to unmute. Feel free to go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay, there I am.
All right.
Good afternoon, Tony.
Good afternoon.
Quick question regarding Texas. Actually, a couple. So, the battery program that is slated to start in March. Is there a time frame for electricians to get involved in training down there to a point where they would be efficient at getting hitting the ground running for batteries? And then the second question revolves around solar. I've got a gentleman down there who is a prior solar pro. And he's asking me some questions about the solar down there, getting started with, with community solar and that sort of thing.
So let's first talk about the question you had about electricians, connecting up and getting certified so they can install batteries, right? So I would say this, Stephen, do we want to look for electricians? Sure. Just like we want to look for plumbers and landscapers and insurance agents as well, because they can come aboard as an EA right now. They can start enrolling their customers, people that they know in their community, so that they can be the first ones to, so that the customers can be the first ones to be evaluated for the battery program. It's like kind of like, you're going first in, first serve, first come, first served. So that's what the race is right now. As far as electricians becoming proficient and stuff like that, as far as the batteries and installation, we're not the installation company. That's not what we're doing. And Think Energy is not training those. We're not going to be training those electricians either. That's going to be something that comes up, down the road. Can someone go and get certified right now with EcoFlow? Sure, they can do it, but we'll probably have a way for a mechanism in place down the road before we launch or shortly after we launch to, have electricians be referred to EcoFlow, maybe. But there's nothing stopping somebody from going and contacting that company directly and getting certified if that's what they want to do. Bottom line is, these installations, there was somebody asked me this question. They said, well, I want my electrician to come aboard and build his team, and then he gets certified as an installer and he puts 100 customers in. He wants to be able to install all of those customers because he brought them aboard. He wants to be the one that gets assigned to install them. And I'm like, if you think that's what's going to happen, you're on another planet here, because they're going to look for the best installers who can do it the fastest for those customers. And if that's not you, then you're not getting it. So we're going to be about efficiency and stuff like that. So the bottom line is, yeah, there will be a way for electricians to make money with this from an installation point of view, but we're not going to be the ones telling them how much money they're making and all that. That's going to have nothing to do with us. All right. So we're not getting involved in that, telling electricians how much money they're going to make and, hey, you're going to get preferential treatment because for installations because you're an advisor or it's your customers. We're not doing any of that. Don't go down that route at all. This is what I'm doing. I'm telling electricians, I just talked to one yesterday, in Texas. And, and he had a friend of his on the call as well. And he's an electrician. I said, you guys, you need to get in as an energy advisor and start putting customers in so they can get the benefit, you can get the commission, and you can get residual income. That, that's what you want. Everything we do is upfront bonuses and residual income. We don't know what it's going to be, but that's what you want to do. Build your team, build your network. The best thing you can do as an electrician is to become an EA and build your network of customers and other electricians who bring in customers, who bring in other electricians, who bring in customers. The sooner you start that, the bigger you have a team, then you're going to have the bigger bang for your buck when we launch the program. Whoever has the biggest team of EAs with customers in place before we launch in March is going to have the biggest benefit. Doesn't matter if you're an electrician or not. It applies to everybody. So that's what I would say. As far as on the solar side of things, I mean, we don't have community solar in Texas. That's not on that. They don't even have a bill that's even been presented yet. So that's like probably years off, when it does happen.
Okay.
As far as, rooftop solar, I mean, we don't do rooftop solar there either, but anywhere for that matter. But I will say, Stephen, that we do have, our buyback program for people who have rooftop solar on their home. But yeah, if somebody's waiting for community solar to come to Texas, like, hey, I want to do that in 2026, not going to happen.
Okay.
Right.
Well, just wondered.
But I appreciate that. Yes, indeed. I mean, it's probably not going to happen in 2026, but could it happen in 2027? Yeah, if they put a bill forward and it gets voted on, and all of a sudden there's a program, sure. These states will surprise you with community solar. So appreciate
Right.
that question, Stephen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mike, go right ahead.
Hey, so yes, I didn't want to get it all out there before because I saw those other people that want the questions. So now that everyone else is out of the way, my main thing that I want to ask about is when customers have rooftop solar, I see no reason why they shouldn't be able to do autosave because you're allowed to have third-party supply with rooftop solar. The net metering gets handled by the utility, and then there's supply that gets done afterwards. For example, I had a customer that had approximately 1,500 kilowatts used. Let's say they net metered 500 approximately, with 1,000 remaining. Think Energy charged the remaining 1,000. Everything looks great. The issue that comes in is that specifically JCP&L, it appears they're messing up the rates to compare. They're showing rate to compare of 6 cents, 8 cents, and all the stuff. So then we get calls from customers saying that we're ripping them off. When in reality, we know we're saving them money. It absolutely looks like it's working. Whenever they're on our third party, it looks like it's fine. But on the bill, that rate to compare is totally messed up. I used to have a connect in JCP&L, and I sent her an email and it bounced back. So for example, on JCP&L, it used to be the bills were all over the place and where you had the subscription fee and the credits separate on community solar. I complained to JCP&L and I actually got them to fix their bill where now in every single JCP&L bill, it actually has a separate section for community solar and it shows the math of the total savings. So I got them to do that. So I thought, great, I'll send the same lady who took care of that for me. I'll send her an email about this rooftop solar messing up with the rate to compare. Problem is, bounced back the email. So I do not have any connect in JCP&L, and I've been talking to several people from corporate since convention, actually since before convention, and no one's been able to address this issue. There's been a back and forth, non-clear answer. Some people say don't sign up rooftop. Some people say yes, sign up rooftop. For me, again, I think it really does work. I think there's no reason not to sign up rooftop. I just think that the utility is messing it up, and I don't know what the way to solve this problem is. Who would be the one to contact utility to get them to fix this issue? If I'm correct on that issue. And the second point was on Sherry's note, what she was saying before. I know personally, I have customers, for example, in the O&R market, they got their letters weeks ago that they're going live, and I don't even have a meter start date in the back office. It doesn't concern me at all because just because you get your letter that you're going live doesn't mean you are live. And even if you did go live on a dual market billing, if a person got their first bill from the utility and it shows a subscription fee on there, for example, it doesn't mean that Think's partner on the farm sent their bill off yet because we know the bills always go off after. So it could be the person is still showing pending and not active because they never the farm themselves may never have sent off any bill, so they're not really active yet. They're just active in the utility side of things, and until our partner gets notified by the utility that it's active, they'll still show pending. So I'm not concerned with her issue.
Yeah, no, I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, you definitely let it ride, let it go where it's going to happen. I mean, if you want to get a status update from EA support, you certainly can on your customers. That's definitely something you can do, especially if it's been beyond what you thought was the timeline. That's fine. Appreciate that, Mike. And as far as rooftop solar, I mean, we're just going to have to deal with that. I don't know what the answer is to that one, but I know this is a topic that we have slated for our founders call coming up. And so that's something I'm going to bring up as well, because I wanted to get clarity on that, because it is kind of a gray area. And like you said, it's a gray area because nobody's been able to figure it out from a
But
utility reporting perspective.
but it doesn't look wrong because
So,
when you look at if you take the regular third party ones before we even had uh before we had AutoSave with the regular supply, it looks like the net metering is working. It's just those rate that compares. And in PSENG, if I remember correctly, I'm not seeing any issues. It looks like it's working fine in PSENG. But
yeah,
the main point here is I think that once this is figured out, this way, that we all know that it was figured out, we should list somewhere in our FAQs, FAQ, if you have rooftop solar, we work with that. If we don't work with that, it should be listed there that we don't. But either way, it should be definitely listed somewhere in that FAQ page, both for the customers and for the advisors, what to do. So my policy moving forward is I haven't been signing up new ones, but I'm obviously not, my hair's not on fire. I'm not telling anyone, oh, quickly cancel anything, because honestly, I think it's working.
yeah, I agree. I mean, especially if they're saying, hey, you're in JCP&L and your price to compare is 8 cents or 6 cents. I mean, that's insane. That's
We've
not
seen
what it
two
is.
cents. I've
Yeah,
seen them all over, and we know that's not the rate.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have I don't know how many bills. Let's call it 5, 10 bills from different advisors that sent me, maybe more. Not the point, but yeah, the crazy ones were like the low single digits, which no one can possibly claim that JCP&L is going to provide anyone with that number. They're just not doing that. They're typically at 15.8. The other thing I wanted to bring up with you is it appears to me there may have been a retroactive drop in JCPL's rate for December. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is I did have one of the autosave bills that had this thing where, again, the overcharge, where I'm not concerned. I think it's going to get refunded, and I already have corporate looking at a specific bill already. We had it sent in and all that. Um, but the point that I'm getting at is I have another bill that's not on third party supply. And JCPL, of course, loves to make the bills confusing, but it does appear to me that if I do my math correctly, that the December rate dropped to 14.6, which is not advertised anywhere online. You would think if they lowered their rate, they would be, announcing this from the rooftops, we lowered our rate. But in the interim, it appears to me that on this bill that I just received, that is a December non-third party bill, it does seem to be 14.6. So there would be a lot of autosave people who would be on, let's call it 15.2, which is less than the advertised rate of 15.8 that would be in this window. So the way I've always done with all my customers is anytime that I see someone goes live, I always contact all my customers and say, hey, send me a copy of your bill so I can show you your savings. So I'm not concerned with any of this because I'm getting everybody's bills anyway, and I'll be able to catch it right away. And the main purpose of me asking people for those bills is really for referrals. The biggest way I get customers is by once people see that they're saving money, I say, hey, do you have a friend that wants to save some money? Now that you see it's real. So I'm getting influx of all these bills. I can, catch this easily if I have an issue on my downline.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I hear you on that. Yeah, and we'll see how we'll see how the how that gets addressed. I know that corporate is looking into those bills right now, the one you're talking about, and probably several others as well. I already know several others, so we'll get information on that as far as, when the utility company has an interim rate drop that isn't publicized and wasn't published anywhere, and they told us the rate is 15.8. Well, then we put in 15.2. Great, we're saving you money. Then all of a sudden they go, oh, by the way, it wasn't 15.8 like we told you, it was less. So that's why we have policies in place to handle that when it comes up. So I'm sure I know corporate is looking into that right now. So I appreciate that, Mike. We're going to get a lot of answers as we go, because this is the first real round that we've had where the utilities have had to change pricing, and it's because of, what's going on, volatility in the market. So that's why we have these policies in place to be able to allow us to have 120 days, up to 120 days to go and get everything, set for the customer according to the terms and policies. So appreciate it. Moisha, let's see. Next amp extended to April 30th. Yes, should be 2026. Yeah, that's true. I need to get that updated slide. I don't know if they fixed it. I didn't fix it, but yes, April next amp bill credits go to April 1st, I believe 2026. That's what it is. So it is 2026. Appreciate that. Definitely. Steve, it would be good for us as EAs who can get smart thermostats regardless of where we live, just to show that we know how these things work and we can help customers and EAs in the states that can unlock the savings. Sure. Makes it definitely a easy way to do it. And I just discovered that with National Grid in New York, there are a variety of extra bonuses for getting a smart thermostat and additional bonuses for having Honeywell thermostats. Nice. So people should see what their utilities are offering before they buy a smart thermostat, for sure. That is great advice. Always check. Because if you call the utility, a lot of times, Steve, what's happening too is you call the utility and they say, we don't have a program, but there's this special program that this one group has that is, active with making sure that technology goes forward and things like that. And they have a program. So, there's different things there. So yeah, check with the utility for sure. All right. I appreciate everybody for being here. So yes, indeed, you guys. Yeah, and look, I mean, there are going to be, let's put it this way. There are programs where the utility companies are just giving a thermostat to you and they don't care what kind of program you're on or anything like that. Now, there could be programs with the utility company that says, well, we'll give you a free thermostat, but you have to do this, you have to do that. You have to make sure that you're, subscribing to our program, right? So you just want to make sure that that's the case, or what the fine print is from the utility company whenever you're getting thermostats. But then there are just utilities out there that they're like, hey, we just want you to have a thermostat, so that you could and actually have it so that you can utilize it for any programs that you want to that are coming up. There's also other groups that are doing it too that are not attached to any policies. So then you just have, hey, these thermostats are not really that expensive for people. So, if somebody says, I mean, you can go buy smart thermostats online right now, like on Amazon, you can go through the list of Honeywell and Residio and Ecobee on our list and look at the model numbers and go search them online. And you can get these things. They're really inexpensive. I mean, we had people buying these things like for $20. So no program required or anything like that. They just own it outright. They didn't get it. There was no fine print in the terms and conditions. So yeah, just be cognizant of who you're getting the thermostat from and if there are any stipulations, right, that go along with that. So appreciate everybody being here. I'm going to let everybody get back to their day. This is Tony Procopio from New Fairfield, Connecticut. Appreciate all the questions, everybody. We got this recorded, and it will help us to help me as well to go back to corporate and get some further answers for everybody. So appreciate you guys being here. Everybody have a great day. Tony Procopio, over and out.